The edge group in the 2024 NFL Draft is not one of its strongest position groups. There's some guys at the top of the board that are extremely talented and who I believe are going to be awesome NFL players, but in terms of depth at the edge position, there isn't much. One guy who has had an unbelievable 2023 season and really flown up draft boards is Utah edge rusher Jonah Elliss, a player who is incredibly gifted athletically, and he's been so dominant for the Utes this season. But ultimately, where do I think he gets selected in the 2024 NFL Draft? But hey guys, if you guys enjoy NFL Draft content like this, we are ramping it up, so be sure to ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a video. I do tons of NFL and college football content, so you guys aren't going to want to miss it. But without further ado, let's get into it. Ellis was a decent player when he was on the field in 2022, but he just didn't play much. He played in only 394 snaps for Utah in 2022, but he was able to amass 4 sacks and 21 hurries on the season. In 2023, however, he has been on another level this year. He has played a little under 200 more snaps than he played in 2022, playing in 573 snaps this year for the Utes, and he has put up some absurd numbers. He has 2 quarterback hits and 24 hurries, which in and of itself is very good, but the number that really stands out are his 13 sacks on the year, and he has been unreal when rushing the quarterback this season. Athletically, Ellis is incredible. He has a super quick first step off the line of scrimmage, and he uses that to get into the backfield and get to the quarterback. He is a super fluid mover and has really good speed off of the edge. His quickness is up there as the best I have seen in this entire draft class, and his movement, and it just all looks so natural to him. And athletically, I think he is an incredible player. Ellis not only has speed, but he's able to mix that speed with power. He is a very strong player for his size, and he does an excellent job of pushing the tackle or guard back into the pocket, which is where a large amount of his pressure comes from. He has an amazing combination of speed and power off the edge, which is something that is going to be very enticing for NFL teams. Lastly, Ellis showcases a number of pass rushing moves. He has an elite swim move that feels virtually unstoppable, and every time he does it, it looks like he's going to get to the quarterback. Not only does he have a great swim move, but he has showcased a spin move from time to time, and he has the power and the strength to just bull rush through offensive linemen. He already has a plethora of pass rushing moves, which is another great thing that NFL teams are going to buy into. Everything is great as Ellis is a pass rusher, but there are some areas of his game that I do worry about, and the first one is his size. He is very small for the edge position, weighing 246 pounds at 6'2". He has to put on some extra weight on it if he is going to succeed at the NFL level, because he feels just very small for the position, and when you watch him, it definitely stands out. I'm not sure if it's because he wears the number 83 or because of his slender frame, but he really does look like a tight end on defense out there, and it's very odd, and I've not seen a player this small at the edge position getting this much hype. So I want to see him put some weight on, and there are some question marks there. How will that affect him athletically? He's in a weird spot, but I think he's going to need to add weight on if he is going to be successful in the NFL. Ellis also is just not a very good run defender at all. For whatever reason, he really seemed to struggle to set the edge in the run game, and it was an area that time and time again, he was not able to make an impact. I'm not sure if it's his play recognition that needs to improve, or what it may be, but he just was a no-show, and he was constantly pushed out of the play as a run defender, and I would like to see him be more impactful there if he is going to be a true edge at the NFL level. Lastly, Ellis does have an inconsistent stance. He plays pretty high sometimes, and he is not able to generate his power from his lower body the way I would like to see. So if he can play lower and be more consistent in how he lines up, I think he could be an elite pass rusher. Jonah Elliss is explosive, and he has some extremely high upside as a pass rusher, but he does have some major question marks surrounding him. I think he has a ways to go, and he is currently my number 8 edge rusher in the 2024 NFL Draft. I think he has upside, but with his question marks and inconsistency, he is a little bit lower on my big board, and I have him ranked number 98. In terms of a scheme fit, it's really hard for me to find a spot for him. I do think he is pretty scheme versatile, but it depends on if he adds weight on and what his size is going to be. If he stays at the weight he is now, I think he would be best suited as an outside linebacker in a 3-4. He already has issues with his stance, and this would allow him to get a bit of a running start and get more one-on-one matchups with tackles if he did play that outside linebacker role. I think he could thrive there, but because of his power, I could see him being a 3-4 edge or even a 4-3 defensive end. I think he could fit anywhere, it just depends on if he decides to add weight on or not. Coming up with a comparison for Jonah Elliss was a bit difficult, I'm going to admit. Finding a player with his frame and athleticism off the edge is virtually impossible, and he's such a unique player, it just really struggled to find a player, but he does remind me a little bit of a light version of Lucas Van Ness from the Green Bay Packers. An athletic freak off the edge with elite athleticism and a ton of power in their game. Lucas Van Ness was a guy who I liked quite a bit, had a ton of power, had a lot of speed off the edge, and he had some question marks surrounding him, and I think Ellis is in that same camp for me. Ellis is a very fun player, without a doubt. He has some issues in the run department, and he has some inconsistencies, but if he can piece everything all together, he has the potential to be a special player at the NFL level. I think he is ultimately going to be worth the gamble and will be a top 100 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.